Once upon a time, in a small town, by a wide river and a crooked bridge, there lived an old poor man who pushed a tiny tea cart with wobbly wheels and a dented kettle that sang a soft whistle when the water boiled. Every morning before the sun woke the birds, he swept a square of ground, set 3 low stools, and lit a little fire. And with slow hands he cut ginger, crushed mint leaves, and smiled at anyone who passed by, because this was his way to feed himself and to feel useful in the world. He was not fast. His right knee hurt from an old fall, and his fingers had small scars from years of work. But he showed up every day, rain or shine, and he made his tea the same honest way, cup by cup. One bright spring day, a shiny food truck rolled to the same street. Loud music jumped from its speakers, colorful lights flashed, and a young man with slick hair and quick hands jumped out and threw a steel cup in the air, caught it behind his back, and shouted, "Come taste the best drink in town." People rushed to him first because he was new and bright. He juggled sugar packets, he sang a funny song, and for a moment, the old poor man stood alone by his quiet cart. The young man looked over and laughed. "Old-timer, it is time to rest. Who wants slow tea when they can have a show?" And the old man just bowed his head and said, "Son, many people love a show, but when the cold wind blows, they also love a sure cup." He did not argue. He just turned back to his kettle, watched the tiny bubbles grow, and kept serving the few who still came. The brickworker with dusty boots, the bus driver with tired eyes, the lady who sold flowers and paid with coins wrapped in a handkerchief. Each day, the young man changed his menu and pasted a new bright poster. Vanilla thunder, caramel storm, mint volcano, always a new trick, always a big promise, sometimes arriving late, sometimes closing early, sometimes turning people away when their coins were too small. Each day, the old man did the same simple tasks. He counted his coins, he wiped his kettle until he saw the sky in it. He cleaned his cups, and in one cracked cup, he planted a little mint sprig, feeding it with leftover tea water so it would grow, because he did not like to waste anything. When a heavy rain came for a week, the food truck could not run its big machine without power. Its lights went dark, its music was silent, and the young man stayed home. But the old poor man had a small roof over his cart and a dry bundle of wood that he kept from sunny days. So he lit his fire, steamed the air with spice and warmth, and gave a shivering schoolboy half a cup for free, telling him, "Warm your hands first, young one, then your heart." And people huddled under his little tarp, their breath like fog, and they said, "Thank you," and they came back the next day. Later on, festival night, the young man shouted, "Free for 1 hour," and threw cups like a circus star. But he burned a batch because the flame was too high. He ran out of milk because he did not plan, and he slammed his window early when the crowd pushed too hard. Across the street, the old poor man did not offer fireworks, only a steady hand and a gentle voice, and he served the last bus driver who was late. And he waited until the last lantern dimmed. More days came and went, and new posters on the food truck began to fade, while the old man's 3 stools grew smooth from many people sitting and talking. One afternoon, the young man walked over and pointed to the cracked cup with the little plant and said, "You cannot even throw this broken cup away. You are small, slow, and not perfect. How do you stare smile?" And the old poor man patted the plant and said, "This crack lets me see the soil. I use it to grow mint. I am not perfect, and I am not fast, but it can be steady, and steady is a kind of love." He told the young man about the wall he fell from years ago when he worked as a mason, how he lost his job, how he taught himself to make tea when he could not lift stones anymore, how he made tiny marks on the wooden post by his cart, 1 mark for each day he showed up, and now the wood was cut with lines like the rings of a tree. "People think tea is only water and leaves," he said, "but it is also trust. When they come in the dark morning or the late night, they know I will be here." Winter came. A race day brought a big crowd to the bridge. The young man tried a grand stunt with a tower of cups and a blast of music, but the tower fell, cups cracked, his face turned red, and he shut the window in anger. While across the way the old man moved in quiet rhythm. "Pull, stir, and thank you. Pull, stir, and thank you." His kettle singing steady as a heartbeat, and the line at his cart circled like a scarf around a neck. The young man sat on his step and watched, and the old poor man carried him a small cup of tea and said, "No payment? Just sit." And the young man took the cup, held it close, and tears warmed his eyes more than the steam. "I wanted to be the best in one day," he said. "I thought talent and noise were enough." And the old man nodded. "You have talent, but it is like a spark. If you feed it every day, it becomes a fire. If you show up every day, people will trust your flame. If you only shout, the spark dies in the wind." After that, the young man began to arrive early and leave late. He kept the same hours for many days. He planned his milk. He learned the names of the bus drivers. He stopped the loud songs and started soft greetings. And the town noticed that two hens, one old and one young, could both hold worth when they were steady. So we can learn from this story that while bright tricks can turn heads, steady, daily effort wins hearts. That nobody is perfect, but each of us holds value when we show up and do the work again and again. And that self-worth grows not from loud praise, but from quiet, honest steps that we take each day and the trust we build along the way. Did you enjoy the story? Tell us what you think in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to our channel to become part of our family. You want tea? Want tea? Want to miss what is coming next?